here every Saturday at 10 o'clock to get in-depth stuff. So if you came wanting to just get a whole in-depth thing on the whole Christmas narrative, you're not going to get that. Okay? And normally this story, you hear about Christmas time, right? Normally you think about like Christmas. We did this thing at the station, we call it Christmas in July. And Travis knows what that is, and maybe some of you do, but it's a time where we just had some nonprofits come together and they would give gifts and do those things. People that would listen to the radio station would give gifts to those that were in need. And we called it Christmas, we did it in July, instead of just doing that Christmas. And so I was like, oh, this is perfect. It's July. Let's talk about what they call the Christmas story. But who cares? Because most of you have probably heard the story at some point or another. Even if a business decided to just show Santa and Rudolph and all the other things and not mention God or say Xmas or whatever, you've probably still heard somewhat of the story. I don't know what you like best about it, what seems far-fetched, seems incomprehensible, but I'm sure there's some parts of it. I mean, Virgin having a baby, it's crazy. God becoming a man. I think it says in the book of John that the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. That's what was supposed to be, would be called Emmanuel. 400 years they had waited for an answer. They had been looking for the guy. And then the Word came. And it wasn't what they expected. And the story, I think probably the most disturbing thing to me about the story was Herod. Herod and, well, the priests at the time. Because when the Magi came and they were there looking for Jesus, and they wondered about the star, and they started looking through the scriptures and going, wow, this was actually supposed to happen. It was foretold. They knew it and everything. Like it says that they became disturbed because he was coming, that he was here. I guess that's the biggest thing that struck me. When I think about the whole thing right now, I was like, that one thing, because stop, think about life. And think about your life. And whether you believe that he was the promised one and he came, or there's still one yet to come, it becomes, what does that do for your life? If he's coming the second time, are you disturbed about that? If he were to just show up? Or if he's just coming the first time? Because it changes everything. It changes everything about leadership. It changes, because then there's like this tangible thing that, oh my goodness, God is real and he's alive and he's got a plan and he's working it out. And so I kind of disturbs me a little bit. Does it mean anything? Does it disturb you? Hopefully, you can find some joy in that. Well, the promise of the one came. I mean, you have all these different authors writing different things, different stories. Some people think, the Bible is just these guys just got together and they wrote this story from all the way through to try to justify what they believe. And it's a whole bunch of people who wrote a bunch of different things at different times, and they all were pointing to the same thing. It's a big event. And so 400 years comes, and here comes a baby. And there's no room for him. I don't give that guy a hard time. Because there's still not room for him in so many people's lives. And even if it's not just Jesus, I just say God in general, if that's what your flavor is. Because he wants to make a huge difference. And if I see one thing, I see this plan here where God is wanting, and has been wanting to all the way through, to just connect with people. That's it. Make a way possible for there to be peace. Because from the beginning, the little kid, the fall, that isn't my way. That song? Those kids. They were kids, I guess. speaking of things. But anyway, they were, the thing that they did just gives us all this propensity to do things wrong and to be separated in that process. And so the whole idea is that through Jewish history, there would be one guy who would come, and this, at least according to what, our version reads or whatever the Bible is, that he came. And he fulfilled all those things in Isaiah, fulfilled all those different aspects of prophecy that were made, and he's the guy. And that's everything. And so a baby came. And I think that God still comes. I think Jesus still comes and tries to be that one in our lives, to connect with us. He's already made peace. Whether you understand, agree with that yet or not, or trying to figure it out, he's already made peace. And we're not enemies. Never have been. We may be enemies towards God, but God doesn't want a separation. And so he has fulfilled his plan, at least up to this point, with this one child. And all the people get excited. No, they don't, because I've heard this story 1,000 times. Lots of good things happen. So, the Word, he was the Word. And the Word became flesh. And dwelt among us. That's a great thing. That God wanted to be with people. And that he would be willing to do something as even change his form, change everything about him to become one of us. Because it says that the one that was from the beginning was from everlasting, who was in the beginning with God, was God, became a man. First time. Became flesh. He knows what life is like. He knows what it's like in the city. He knows what your life is like exactly. Okay. Father in heaven, I'm really grateful that we can be here today and be with you, with family and friends, and have phones. Thank you that you, at least from what we've seen, have always tried within all of our mistakes and the things that we've done wrong to make things better. And although none of us are perfect. And as I pray, I'm thinking about a prayer that we read recently. A guy who looked at himself and being a leader said, yeah, I'm one of them too. Not done everything right. But that's why you have grace, and that's why you have mercy, and that's why you have given all that you could by giving your Son for us. And so where we failed, Lord, we just ask you to forgive us, continue to change our hearts and minds, to help us maybe hear the phone ringing from you at times when we're thinking about just doing things our own way, as your people did so many times. And that you lift us kind of from where we're at in the bottom, or in the middle, or if we're towards the top in our lives, wherever, so that you take us and bring us closer to you. Thanks for music. Thanks that we can pray.